Have you ever seen a ghost peeking around the corner? Now, these peeking ghosts, or peekers as they're often called, are a type of shadow being. Now, people speculate that these may be the spirit of a person who in life was a very violent or evil person. And when they passed, their spirit that remains has no form. And often what it is trying to do by peeking from behind the door, or sometimes even appearing as a person that is just a pile of clothes, is to try and get your attention and to get you to notice it. And by doing so, right, you are giving power to it to come into your life. Now, there was one such story. There was this teenager who lived with his mother. And one night he's sitting in his room and he's watching television, when out of the corner of his eye, he sees what looks like a person peeking from behind the hallway door. So he looks at the TV and he looks back at the door and it's gone. And then once again, out of the corner of his eye, he sees what looks like a person peeking into his bedroom. Another time, he's in his kitchen, and as he walks past the hallway, he thinks out of one of the bedrooms he sees a head peeking out at him. But when he looks closely again, there's no one there. And he starts having these experiences around the house, and he thinks that maybe it's only him that sees them. Until one night, he's sitting in his bedroom, and he looks over, and he sees something peek from outside of the doorway. And all of a sudden, his mom comes to the door and is like, "Is everything okay?" And he says, "Yeah, everything's all right, I think." But when he looks at his mom, he sees this thing peek out from behind the doorway real quick. And all of a sudden, he notices his mom just gets this horrified look on her face. And he goes, "What's wrong, Mom? What's wrong?" And she wouldn't tell him. Finally, after a couple days, he gets his mom to tell him why she was horrified that night. And his mom says, "The really weird thing happened when I was talking to you and you were sitting in your bed. I looked over at your closet, and for a second, I seen something peek out from behind the closet door." So one night, he goes to bed and he wakes up in the middle of the night and he looks at the post of his bed, right, the front of his bed, and he sees a face peeking up at him. But this time he actually notices what the face looks like, and he sees this is a woman with long black hair, no eyebrows, solid black eyes, and no mouth or nose. And after he notices this woman, he said he just starts seeing her in his dreams. He started seeing her everywhere he went. And this spirit was almost like tormenting him. His mother, who was very religious, ends up calling in the neighborhood priest. And he comes in and actually does a exorcism on the boy. And after that, he no longer seen this thing anymore. But he realized if he did see it again, not to look at it.